So hello, everyone, and welcome to today's Thursday Live. My name is Denise Arminio, and I am a certified emotion code, body code, quantum healing practitioner, as well as genius biofeedback practitioner. And we are here to talk about the genius and to give you a little bit of a training, as well as we have a volunteer to do a little bit of a demo session. So I'm looking forward to that. I also want to thank Claire McIntyre, who is here with us, and she will be helping out in the chat. So thank you. I am just going to quickly set up the our volunteers information in the user record so that I'm going to set it up ahead of time so we can keep her information private, since this does get posted publicly. So just give me a second here to type all that in. And just 1 second. Okay, so now I can start sharing my screen with everyone. So everybody should be able to see that, I hope. So we're actually on the user record page. So basically the page where you enter the person's name and their birth date. I have already filled that information in and bypassed it. That way that information can remain private for Dominique. But she is going to be here. She is here with us. And if you just want to turn your mic on, we can start. Unmute yourself, I mean.
Okay.
Oh,
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Thank you so much. And thank you for volunteering today.
Thank you so much.
So on this user records is where we take down some information on what is going on or what we would like to work on with you today. So if you want to just briefly tell me some symptoms that you may be experiencing, the ones that are easiest to show an improvement in a short period of time are things like physical pain or emotional pain. But if you have any other symptoms, I am happy to help work with you.
It's a bit of anxiety, high
Okay.
blood pressure.
Blood pressure. Okay.
Yes.
Do you have any painful joints or neck pain or
Neck pain. Neck pain.
okay. And neck pain, right now, is it
Yeah,
hurting?
I'm always a bit stiff on the neck, so
Okay. So using a scale of 0 to 10, 10 being severe, how would you rate that neck pain right now?
now 6.5.
About a 6 out of 10?
Yeah.
Okay. And any other pains anywhere else? Back, arms, legs, knees?
No.
No.
Digestive imbalance always.
What is your balance?
Digestive imbalance.
Digestive imbalance. And what are some symptoms? Like, do you have any symptoms now?
No. No.
Bloating, gas, or things like that?
No. Rush. No. So.
Do you have so your anxiety, you're stressed. What's
Yeah.
if to rate that on 0 to 10, where is it at right now?
8.
An 8? Okay, perfect. So we can work with these two things for you. So we're going to work with your neck pain, which is about a 6 out of 10, and your anxiety or stress like an 8 out of 10. So I
Yes.
have information here. I also like to put the date, the date. So what is today, the 29th? And this way, if we ever have a session again, we can go back and see the things that we worked on for you. So
Perfect. Thank you.
now the information that we log in here doesn't have anything to do with the scan. So whatever notes you want to take, you're free to take them here. Okay, so this is the part where we take a voice recording from you. So I will
Yes.
count you down. I'll say begin, and then if you can say your full name and then repeat the vowels A, E, I, O, U. You might have to say that a couple of times until this 15-second counter gets to 0. You ready?
Yes.
3, 2, 1, begin.
Dominique Zanotto, A-E-I-O-U. 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 A-E-I-O-U.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank
Okay,
you.
so after you either leave your voice recording or whoever you're working on their voice recording, I do recommend and suggest that you go down to the bottom left and listen to the voice harmonics. This is basically it gives you a chance to see how the genius has translated your spoken word into a frequency, and it does have some healing benefits for you. So it is worthwhile to listen to it. So I will play that right now for you. Okay, great. So now I'm just going to select next. And I'm just going to take a screenshot of you. Just give me a second here. Ah, come on, it doesn't want to drop in my photos. Come on. And I lost my, where did everybody go? Oh, there you are. Sorry. I need to take that screenshot again. And that's odd. It went back a screen. Oh, no. Oh, no, it didn't. Never mind. Sorry. Existing photo. I'm getting ahead of myself. There you are. And I'm just going to crop this down so we don't see the mute in there. And I might even, since that's not your full last name, I'm just going to crop that out as well. And there you go. There's your picture. And now we can just hit begin analysis here. And select continue. Okay, so now it's asking for an energetic affirmation. So this is in a way similar to the voice analysis, just like the genius can translate your spoken word into a frequency. It can also translate written word into a frequency too. So here we are able to put in an affirmation. So maybe one that you like or you're working with, or I can, of course, suggest the one that I use if that's what you want to use. Do you have a preference, or do you want me to put the one that I usually?
Maybe I can have your suggestion because I always use mine, so it would be good to know the suggestion.
Sure, I use all energies are transmuted into the frequency of pure love.
Nice.
And I wrote, and then I just add and so it is. And then what happens once we hit OK here, every time we run a scan within this session, the frequency of this affirmation will be overlaid. So you'll be getting this frequency throughout this session. Okay, so now the next thing is the genius is asking us to begin analysis. Once I press that, you will see these three categories kind of like rotating until it is done. And then you will see that those categories are ordered in the order of priority. For those of you who are on the trial or who do not have any libraries, you will not see this custom libraries banner. But as soon as you created something or purchased libraries, it would show up. So we are all working with the same app. Okay, so body is on top. So it's suggesting that that is where it's showing the priority, and then mind, and then body biofield. Now, before we get into that a little bit, I just first want to click on the aura so we can show you your aura picture. Okay, so for the auras, we're looking for bright, vibrant colors. It uses the 7 different colors of the 7 chakras. So those are the ones that you're going to see. The colors that are on the that are brighter are suggesting the positive attributes of that chakra, and if on the darker side would be more of the negative attributes of that chakra. You can hide the avatar so that you could see more of the center. The brighter the color, the more neonish looking the color, the better. This like cloudiness or fuzziness does suggest interference or negative energies are getting in. So that just gives us a little bit of insight on what to work with. It could also be stagnant energy. There is also a little button here to press switch to old. That is the original aura picture that the genius worked with, but it does give some different information. So it was kept in so we can see both information. The first thing I always recommend that you look at here is you want to see color touching all 4 corners. If it's not, it's suggesting that you are not grounded or 100% in your body. So in this case here for you, it does look like you're not fully grounded and a little bit out of your body. Now that could just be because maybe you're a little nervous or being on YouTube, but we'll try to get you a little bit more grounded and back in your body by the end of the session here. And if you don't have a genius, ways to get grounded is always you can walk barefoot on the grass or outside, hug a tree, go to the beach, walk in nature. Those are all great ways to ground yourself. Okay, so what are we looking at? What do these colors and these numbers mean? The genius uses a numerical value system. It ranges from 0 to 777. And that range is divided into 4 groups. Starting with the low range, going from 0 to 200, that is represented by the color blue, and that represents chronic energetic disturbances. So anything that is blue, it is suggesting that it has been out of balance for a longer period of time on a chronic basis. Items here might also be referred to as stagnant energy or under energy. And these items are causing a bit of a crisis on your body itself. The next range goes from 201 to 450, and that is represented by the color green. And then we go from 451 to 600, that's represented by the color yellow. And lastly, the highest range goes from 601 to 777, that is represented by the color red. And items in this range are referred to as heat or inflammation, over energy, or they've also been observed to be causing a crisis, stress on the body. So the reds and the blues the reds are happening now in the present time because they're acute. So they're a stress, and the blues are more chronic and are causing more of a crisis type issues. Sometimes you'll hear me refer to them as those are your potential underlying causes to some of the issues that you may be having. When you look at the bottom for the quick balance, this is one way to run a quick scan. It says it runs the highs and lows frequencies only. So what that is saying is that anything on this page, it is running the red and blue frequencies. The timer for that is right here on the right of your screen, and it starts at 0 minutes, which would be for any amount of time. It could be less than a minute or more than a minute. Or you can put it on increments from 1 minute to 30 minutes down at the end. The benefit of having it on 0 minutes is that you can run it longer than 30 minutes if need be, or you can run it for less than a minute to run the frequencies shorter. You can, if it is on 0 minutes, you do have to manually stop it from running by pressing on the screen. You'll see a little bit of that as we move on. And it will give you a percent rectification. If you stop, if you've selected a set amount of time between 1 minute and 30 minutes, if you press on the screen before it's finished, it will not give you a percent rectification. So just keep that in mind. On the left, you will see arrows. These are here to just inform you that there's some information. You can go a little bit deeper. So if you clicked on the arrows for today's stress, it would show you the items that are under today's stress. You can see all the numbers, and they do appear here in numerical order, starting from high, going to low. If you want a little bit more information about that item, you can click on this little magnifying glass, and it gives you a little bit of information. And then to hide it, you would just click on the arrows again. Now, there is a second way to view the same information, and that is if you click on the red line itself. And then this gives you, it's the same information, but a different view. I tend to think that this is the view that most people like to use. It's color coded, so you can kind of just interpret the results a little faster. Okay, so what do I do when I start a session? So the first thing I like to do when I start a session is what we call prime the body. So we want to prepare the body with all its essential nutrients so that the cells are receiving the nutrients it needs for optimal function. This is the goal when we're working with bioresonance or biofeedback. You want to bring the body back to homeostasis. So we want to give the cells of our body all the nutrients it needs so that it could be as healthy as it could be before we start introducing some of your symptoms. The other thing we want to look at are the frequencies for your biofield. The biofield or your energy field is very important because that is kind of like your force field. So if your biofield is not healthy, eventually your physical body will not be healthy because the biofield is protecting you from all those frequencies that could harm you. So there are two ways you can go about this. I'm going to go into my libraries that already have all these items created, but in case you don't have that library panel from the bioterrain, an easy way to do that is to add all the items from the biofield into your main hold tray and also add the amino acids, minerals, and vitamins into your main hold tray as well. I'm just going to go to the custom libraries. It takes a few minutes because I have a lot, and now I need to do begin analysis. Okay, so the little black tab in the center up top is how you bring down the search function. So library is highlighted here. That means it's going to look at all the library titles. And I'm going to click the magnifying glass so I can search for, whoops, bioterrain. And so for anybody that has purchased the bioterrain package or the pro package, the 37 bioterrain panels are included. So you will have these. If you only have the trial or you didn't buy this package, it is a great bundle of libraries to have because it works with your gut, and gut health is so important to our function. It deals with our hormone regulation, emotional regulation, viruses, bacteria, parasites. So there's so much that goes on here. But if you go to the top, you will see it says begin vessel priming frequencies. And if I just click on that title, I can drag it down and it automatically adds the 165 items from that library into the main hold tray. Sometimes my trackpad is a little temperamental and I can't drag the library title, but you could always just click on the line and then you can see the items that are in the tray. Now I have added all of them, so that will include all the yellow, all the reds, all the yellows, greens, and blues. And I did that deliberately because these items are also important. So when we click on the play button for the main hold tray, one of the important things that the main hold tray does is that the Genius uses algorithms to look at the relationship between all of the items in the main hold tray. So given that all these items are really important for the health of not only your biofield, but your cells, I want to have all those items in the tray so that if they are needed, you will receive those frequencies. So I'm just going to hit begin analysis. Okay, so here I always will click all and select all the items. And I will always start by just putting the timer on 1 minute. When you're working with frequency, more isn't always better. So sometimes it's really good just to start and work with short spurts of working with the frequencies. If you're not getting the percent rectification that you're looking for, you could always increase the amount of time, but sometimes listening to it longer does not mean it will be better. So anyway, I have all of these have been selected, and I'm just going to click play so we can start running these. So you will see here that it popped up. It says, excellent. You have responded positively to this balancing session. The reason it is excellent is because your average percent rectification, which is down here at the bottom, is above 40%. Anytime it is above 40%, you will get that pop up. So this is wonderful. The next thing I always like to tell you to look at is the percentages just above that line. It is the 3 percentages that make up the average percent rectification. And I do like to see that between the lowest percentage and the highest percentage, it doesn't exceed 20%. In this case, it does a little bit, 52 to 75. It goes over by 3. Because this is a demo, I'm not going to worry about it too much. My next step would be here might be to rescan. And we can just work with, we can just select the lows and the highs and put the timer on 0 and just run this new set of highs and lows for about 30 seconds. Okay, so here it's the percent rectification is 26%. That is still a good, it is still considered good. Anything between 20% and 40% is considered good. So here you're at 26%. And if we look at the spread between the low, which is 16%, and 35, that's about your 20% in there. So I'm happy with that. I wouldn't, because this is a demo, I'm not going to run those further. But if you were home, you could run that a little bit longer if you wanted to get that above 40%. So I'm just going to go back now to the system overview page, and I'm going to click on the little arrow to the left of the main hold tray. And I'm just going to select clear all to clear out the tray. And then I'm going to show you my step 2 is working with the general overview. And the way you get to the general overview is to click on the words system overview up at the top. And the thing that I really love about the general overview is that it takes all the items from the system overview and from all of my over 2,000 library panels and takes all the line items and puts it in numerical order. And the reason why this is so important is that you get to see everything together in one list. So you can see the highs and the lows. Now in energy healing, anything can cause anything. So it is a good chance that these blue items, the ones that are low, are the underlying cause or the root cause to what's ever going on with you. So in order to work with them, I'm going to go down to the plus, which is down by the main hold tray. And if I click that, it gives me the option to add the bottom 50. It's really helpful, so I don't have to drag and drop 50 items. If you wanted more of these, it would be a little bit more tedious because you would have to drag and drop each individual one. If you don't have as large of a library collection as I have, you might want to add all the blues. However, just be mindful, you don't want that number really to go above 200, 250. And if I were to add all my blues, there would be thousands of items in there. So that's why I'm not doing that. The next thing that we can do here is remove my libraries. And now we're just looking at all of the line items from the system overview page. And this is where I am going to add all the blue items. Which says 152. Which is interesting because it had 50 items in there already, unless my eyesight is bad. But we're going to go with that. And then we can add all of the red items. So there are a bunch of red items in there. Actually, I want to redo that because it's getting up way too high. So I'm going to add, sorry, we're going to start this over again. So with my libraries removed, I'm going to add all of the blue items, which is 106. And then we're going to add all of my libraries back in, and I'm just going to add the bottom 50. Okay, and that gives us 156 items. And then we can go and hit the play button. And now that we're in Progressive Insights, we could hit Begin Analysis. And again, I like to select all the first time around, move the timer to 1 minute, and press play. So great, you did well, excellent again. So the average percent rectification was 53%. And if you look at the low percentage is 50% and the high is 56%, that's really tight. And when it's tight like that, to me, it suggests that it's more stable. if that range goes above 20%, it's not as stable and it may go out of balance easier. So I am happy with that. So now I'm going to, well, we could rescan this and just run the. Now, when the Genius gives us these percent rectifications, they're just probabilities. There's no way it could actually know which ones for sure are the ones that harmonize, but it does give you the best information it can. And when you hit rescan, which is at the top right, it's now saying, based on running those other frequencies, now we have a new set of highs, mediums, and lows. So you can work with those. So again, we can look at the lows and the highs and maybe just move the timer to 0 minutes and just play the frequencies for about 30 seconds. So again, you did really well here. The average percent rectification is 52, and we go from 45 to 65 is 20%. So that's awesome. So I'm going to now hit the back arrow till we get to the system overview page again. We can go down to the up arrow to the left of main hold tray, and now I can clear all the items that were in the tray. And at this point, I just always like to check in just to see how you're doing, to see how your neck pain is feeling, how your anxiety is feeling. Have you noticed any shifts at all in your neck?
Yes, I'm a bit better. The neck is better and my anxiety it disappeared.
It disappeared. It went from
Yeah,
0. That's amazing.
yeah, I don't have it at the moment.
That's great.
And
And
even because I had a bit of acidity,
mhm.
everything is gone. I don't know if I was really like, nerves, but now I'm really relaxed.
Well,
Everything is good.
and the reason why I always check in after the second step is just so everybody understands how powerful these two first steps are, even before looking into what your actual symptoms are. So you just proved the point very well. So thank you for that. Now,
Thank you.
your neck pain, if you had to re-rate how your neck is feeling, you were a 6 before, where would you put it?
Yeah, I still feel it, but just when I move, so I can say 3.
Okay, great. So now we can go back and we can try to narrow in on your neck and see if we can get rid of that pain
Yeah.
for you. So um, now I'm going to go back into my custom libraries. Well, I'm going to go into emotions and I'm just going to add in the blue emotions here, just because sometimes in this region it can be store some emotional trauma. And then, whoops, I didn't want to do that. I want to go back and now go to the custom libraries and going to go into the search, and there is a pain library that I like to use, this pain relief. And I'm going to add all the reds and the blues in here. And I'm even going to add the green ones. And then I'm going to go to human body structure, which has, this is a very big bundle. It has over 58 panels, but it breaks, you'll have bones, muscles, nerves, ligaments, tendons. And then it also, you can see it breaks it up by different segments. So let's just look and see neck. Here's your neck muscles are showing as red. I'm going to add all of them because they're all connected.
This one is a library, human body structure.
Yes, you this is it's a separate purchase. You have to purchase this library, human body structure. And let's see if there are nerves showing up. My eyes are going on me. Where are the nerves? So I'm just going to add the database of the nerves. And I'm just going to add the blues and the reds here. And then the last thing I'm just going to look at is the veins, just to make sure that all the circulation, sorry, I just wanted to grab the tendons of your neck. And again, I'm just going to add the blue ones. And we can run these for you now. Okay, so again, I'm going to follow the same procedure where I select all of them for 1 minute and hit play. So excellent. So again, you did very well here. Your average percent rectification is 54%. And again, from 51% to 60 is very tight. So that's really very stable. So that's amazing. How is your neck feeling now?
Yeah, always a bit better.
So it went down. It was a 3 right before we started.
Yeah, I just, I feel it again, but it's not pain now.
It's just stiff.
Yeah.
So let's just work with the lows and the highs here. We'll just see if running it another 30 seconds will help. Okay, that's a little lower, but we had worked with those already, so we can try to rescan. And now we can just select the lows and the highs again and just work with them for 30 seconds now that it kind of like reshuffled. Okay, so it's 27% rectification. Again, that is a good rectification, and I'm happy with the range on the harmony, alignment, and energy flow. So I'm going to back out here now, and I am going to clear out the main hold tray. And I just want to work on grounding you a little bit. So I'm just going to add all the items from these crystals that are great for grounding and stability, and add them into the main hold tray there for you. And I'm also just going to add in these flower essences for you as well. So we and again, I'm going to run them all for 1 minute. Did you have a question?
No, I was looking for the. It's okay.
Okay, and that's a little bit on the low side. So I'm just going to move the timer down to 0 and deselect all and just run the lows for 30 seconds. So you did much better here, 71%. And again, harmony is 64 and 78. So that's within that 20%. So now we can go back to the main system overview page and let's look at what your aura looks like. And when you remove it, you can see that there are some bright circles in here. I would love to see this center and this ring here become a little bit lighter. We can continue to work on that. And if we look, there is, although it's light, you do look a little bit more grounded to me, but I would still want to work on that slightly with you. So I'm going to add in the frequencies from spiritual protection to try to clear out some of the dark colors in there, and we can run all these frequencies again. And we can select all and run for 1 minute. So here again, you did really well, 66% average percent rectification, and then it goes from 52 to 80. So it's slightly above the 20%. Again, this is a demo. So we could try to run that again just to narrow down get to within that 20%. But let's just go and look and see how your aura looks after we ran some of those frequencies. Okay, so we see a lot of things shifting here a bit. We see some browns coming in. We do want to work with those. We've worked with a lot of frequencies, so hopefully that they will settle a little bit. But what we're seeing is you are more grounded in your body. You can see all four corners are filled with color. So that is great. That was one thing that we did want to work on. We would like these colors to be a little brighter and one color ideally. But although often we see several colors in here. So the other thing, we have one more minute in here. What I would like to just do lastly with you is just work on some flower essences. So I'm just going to work with the blue ones and run those. And I'm going to select all. Mitzi, I'm going to get to your question in a second. I just can't talk when these are running. Okay, so that's it's 25%, so that's good. And let's just see how your aura has changed before we have to wrap things. Okay, so here we're seeing the colors are getting a little brighter. There's still some darkness in here and fuzziness on the side, but that does look like it's getting better to me. And this looks so much better. You can really see these coming in from the right. It normally comes in from the left, but since this is mirrored, it's coming in from the right. This looks really beautiful and healthy, that bright purple color. So I'm happy with that. I just want to answer Sarah's question. She says, is the classic, and this is the classic, or a picture different from the old version? Yes, it is different. There's a lot of differences to get into detail, but we would really jump down a rabbit hole. There is on YouTube a Thursday live I did with Dr. Kimberly McGeorge. She and I did a Thursday live and we did talk about the aura. But then there is also an aura class, which I believe is on the Inside Health Apps website. If you're interested, it is a big class, but it really goes into the differences of both the different auras. So yours calls it the old version. Well, the old version is this one here. It was the one that was from 2.0. Sure, I can certainly do that for you, Sarah. And I never seem to get all the color out to the corners. If you're not getting the colors out to the corners on this one, you need to work on grounding. You're not in your body. So you can work on, if you have any gems or crystals, those are great for grounding. In the spiritual protection, there is the word grounding that you can throw in the tray. And you can always tap your body and ask, and you can say your name. I am Denise Arminio and only Denise Michelle Arminio. And you want to call back all the parts and pieces of you. And also go outside and get into nature. And get grounded. That will always help you. And then back here, Mitzi, your question. Thank you. She says she appreciates the training. There is a lot to learn in terms of how to know the system well enough to go back and forth and how to pick what to run and rerun. If you're meaning the rerunning when you're in the progressive insights, is that what you meant, Mitzi?
Yes, the rescanning.
Well, the rescanning I like to do if when I run it for 1 minute, let me just go back to the rescanning so that it's easier to see. So here I had 25%. I wouldn't rescan it here because it's still not above 40%. So for me, here I would probably just select all, since it's basically the highs and the lows are all anyway. And maybe just run that for, let's say, 30 seconds.
I guess can you hear me? I guess I'm wondering what rescanning means, because, sometimes you go high and low, sometimes you just go low, sometimes you do all.
So the genie, when it does, when we're in progressive insights, these are all probabilities. It's giving us an average percent rectification. So a 47% would mean 47% of all these items in the main hold tray have harmonized, but it's not telling us which ones have and which ones haven't. If it's above 47%, that's a good number. So you might want to see, if you rescan, it's kind of to see how things fall out now. Again, it's going to be a problem. And lows. So we went from having almost all highs to only having one high. So that's a really great improvement. But we did go from having one low to having 4 lows. So, it's a constant balancing act, but to just kind of, again, it's just a constant balancing act. So maybe you just want to work on the lows for a few seconds. Just use your gut. There's really no right or wrong. And if you're not seeing the shifts, or seeing like positive changes in the aura, and when I mean like positive changes, the colors getting clearer and brighter, work with solutions. So what I mean by solutions is, if you're just working with the system overview, work with herbs, work with essential oils. Those are things that we use and we bring into our energy field to help us. The herbs are very healing. You can work with the meridians, the governing meridian and central vessel, or the two that run the front and the back of your body. So you can always work on those, but it's really just practice and coming to these classes, and you'll weekly, and you'll just retain, learn more every week, since each case is always going to be different. So I hope that helped. And Dominique and David, if you just email me, and I will get you that information that you needed. So
Thank you so much.
you're welcome. And how is your neck and everything? How are you
A
feeling?
lot better. I'm feeling really better.
Oh,
Thank
great,
you.
great. Anybody else have any other questions before we sign off for today? No questions? Okay. Well, thank you everybody for being here. I love working
Thank
with.
you.
Oh, you're welcome. Thanks, Dominique. I enjoy working with each and every one of you every week. Come back next Thursday. And also just a little teaser for everybody. Dr. Kimberly McGeorge and I will be adding to the free webinar schedule. So look for some more information on that. We will be doing some bi-monthly 1-hour trainings similar to this, but with different type information. So I think that you'll all really enjoy that. So please do look for more details on that. So anyway, thank you. I know that Claire had to leave early, but thank you, Claire, for your help in the chats. And goodbye to everybody. We will see you next week. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye-bye.